Agents of I.C.S. is a Monster of the Week horror podcast meant for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Why, hello there, and welcome back. Since our last session, it's been a hot second due to various martial arts tournaments and things of that nature, but we are, indeed, back in the middle of questioning one Alec Cassini. Allow us to join our agents now. Shaboink, I have returned.
Shaboink. So, was waifu talking just now because we really can't hear her?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now we can.
That or we're just bullying her. Is someone talking?
Maybe. No. I'm not that evil, right?
She's too cute.
It says the guy with demon in his name.
Hey,
I'm a nice demon, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's speciest.
Calcifer is a demon.
Oh, that's... Dang, you got me there.
Is he now? I thought he was elemental.
No, he's a demon.
He's a fire demon.
He's a fire demon, yeah. He's very adamant on that, actually. Unless the Japanese translation is different.
Yeah.
Just watch it in English. Anyway, one of y'all, I don't know if it was Margot or Carson, but one of you just kind of directly asked Alec, did you ever send your boy, Emmanuel, to some form of sleep therapy or something as a child?
I think it might have been me because...
No, it was me.
I know. It's always me.
Wow, stolen feller.
So I guess Margot followed up on that then.
So y'all asked him that, and he sort of gives you a look, but doesn't necessarily answer, as if to say, that's a very particular question to be asking me.
Well, the why depends on how much you want to know.
Do we get the idea that he'll elaborate on that?
He's been a pretty open book so far.
Wait a second. My last roll was trust me. Was that?
That was probably
I think that was
to
get inside, right?
Yeah. You guys are kind of coming out of nowhere. So that was probably, let us in your house. We won't kill you. Okay.
Sorry, I forget that it keeps that record of the last roll.
Yeah, it technically never goes away. I just wash it every single time. So it's clean and clear.
I did not realize that. Sorry.
All good. So how much he wants to know. He's been very upfront with your group so far.
Yeah.
Still,
I think he came over like as a person who, well, he was aware, but we aren't sure if he wants to know more, if he wants to be part of it, because he was definitely trying to steer away from it, apparently.
Precisely. And as he's thinking all this through, he nods, gives you all a look over, and he's trying to think, like, who really are you people? Do I actually want to know this? Am I putting myself in danger by answering this, or would this help me? A lot of the expressions and emotions are kind of shooting past his face. He's not really trying too hard to hide them. And he says, I mean, yeah, the boy I said he was a little troubled. And, things were off when he was younger. Yeah, I said kids cry, they do things. But he always felt different. He's the only kid I had. But I don't know. Yeah, we took him to a study, I guess, to see if he had, I don't remember, colic or diaper rash, things of that nature, to see if that's why he was crying so much. Something maybe we couldn't take care of, food. Maybe he doesn't like breast milk, or maybe he didn't like the formula, something. We were trying to figure out why he was crying so much. So yeah, we took him to some studies and whatnot. We want to make sure he was okay. We had a family doctor.
Do you happen to recall the name, address, phone number, anything?
Not off the top of my head, but I can pull it from my Rolodex, yeah.
Sure, let's go with that.
Rolodex. Nice.
He sort of sighs at this, and he stands. It's not in the other room. You guys are currently in the living room with the TV and everything. It's off to what probably would have been like a dining room or something, but it's just a bunch of boxes stacked, a table that's covered in just various knickknacks and things of that nature. He moves on over while occasionally turning around to make sure you guys aren't stealing anything. And he's kind of moving and grunting to himself, like, God bless, where'd I put this damn thing? And he goes, after pulling out a drawer, he pops it out, starts flipping through the names, mumbling to himself, and goes, yeah, one, I can't promise he's still here. Obviously, I've not seen him since, but Dr. Marlin was his name.
Dr. Marlin. First name?
Oh, first name, sorry, I just wrote down his his last. But here's his number and address, assuming he hasn't moved.
No, copy it down.
Yeah.
Give it to Margot.
Okay.
Sorry, the way I keep notes are pretty quick and dirty, so just got his name.
That's fine.
Family doctor, phone number, address. That's all I need to know. Nice dude, but I guess he helped a bit. Emmanuel calmed down a little after seeing him a couple times. After my wife passed, he tried helping us, and I feel like Emmanuel calmed down a bit after that as well. But me personally, I already told you, I couldn't handle the kid. Maybe I'm not fit to be a father. Not entirely sure, but I don't want to ruin him any more than he might have already been ruined, or maybe all his problems are from me because I'm an idiot. Who knows?
What exactly was he doing that made you take him to a doctor?
I mentioned before, when he was younger, just constant crying. I mean, that's fairly normal for a parent, right? Like, no one knows how kids actually work. Otherwise, there wouldn't be millions of how to raise your child books. There'd be one, and we'd all know. We'd all reference it. There's too many things, and he's a person. They're all different. Maybe he's doing it to be a shit. Maybe he's actually in pain. I don't know.
Okay, but you took him to this doctor before and after your wife's death, right?
Yeah, before, because I think he had something wrong with his body or something. And after, because, well, he technically witnessed a death.
All right.
That's a pretty big change for a child's life. You got a mommy and a daddy. Suddenly one's gone. How do you explain that to a kid?
Is this the only doctor he went to?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, Dr. Marlin was a pretty good dude. Didn't charge too much. Relatively nice. Good attitude about in general. So, yeah, I liked him.
All right. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. You said he has been doing things that I don't need all the details, obviously. Were you coming to me because you think I might be in danger, or you just need more information? I know you kind of said that before, but be honest.
A little of both, honestly. He was last seen moving in this direction, so we assumed.
I wouldn't count that as a coincidence, all right? Well, if he's ahead of you all, I'm assuming he's passed now. I assume you don't know what vehicle he's driving?
He's jumping
He
cars.
ditched his vehicle, though we have an assumption of where he might be, but that's about it.
Yeah, right. All right, well, yeah, I guess y'all can take my number 2, and he rips out a clean sheet from the Rolodex, jots his number down, hands it over to your group. And says,
Do you have family elsewhere?
are you suggesting I visit them?
Yeah. It's not going to hurt.
Yeah.
Plus, it's not good to be cooped up in a house by yourself for too long.
I mean, not much I can change about that situation. This is kind of just my life.
Well, go on a vacation.
Mm.
And let us know if he contacts you.
Will do. I got some time in my brother's few towns over. Maybe I'll visit him for a little while and then swing back when things have cleared. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. I hope you guys haven't really gotten into too much trouble, but watch the kid for me. Yeah. You said his name is Jack?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and he's kind of just staring off into the distance, and he shakes his head and looks back at your group. Anyway, unless there's anything else you need from me, I guess y'all can head out.
That was it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, sorry I could have been more helpful, but it was a while ago.
Nature of the job, my guy. You're good.
All right, with that, he kind of shuffles over the door, opens it, and shows your group out.
And now we rob his place now.
First order of business, I want to get that water sample sent back to I.C.S.
Okay, in terms of distance, it's obviously going to be kind of a pain in the ass. You can mark that as something that you're going to do, of course, but driving...
Well, is there a post office somewhere nearby?
Yes. The question is, how long do you plan on being this far from base? Because realistically, it might actually be faster just to visit the doctor than drive back.
That's true. All right.
Like, I think we were aware of another location where he might be, right?
In terms of his general location, currently you got nothing, but they're doing their absolute best. When they have anything, they'll send it to you guys.
I thought that was like an old house or something. Or was it the old house where they lived, where the mother died?
Yeah, where the mom died.
Yeah, you do indeed have the last address, but there's that was gained from the father.
Yeah. I think we're also going to check that out.
Sure, it's not terribly far from here, and the doctor would be closer to that home anyway, so they'd be in a general proximity. Is that where we're headed to next?
Might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
Alrighty, doctor or house first?
Well, let's see if the house is vacant first, I guess.
Alright, doing some quick research along the way. Kaiba, you have easier access to things than most folk, and I want to have you roll for this, as you can kind of just do a quick history look. They did indeed sell the house, quite some time ago. Fortunately, this is all public information, usually posted somewhere. Annoyingly, we would know. And You can see they exchanged hands one more time after that, but it looks like people are currently living in the home, yes.
Oh, it's not high priority right now. I guess just check up and see if there's, I don't know, something amiss with the house, and otherwise we can go to the doctor first.
Okay. When you
Yeah,
say,
that sounds good.
when you
Do
say
a quick drive-by.
yeah. So basically just going to drive by, see if any weird vibes or if anything looks okay.
Yeah.
Sure. When you guys drive on by, the house seems to honestly look fine. The last photos that you saw of it were a little bit older. The owners that purchased it from the last listing that you found online, they've owned it for maybe 4 years. They've updated some things. Front yard seems to look fine. New paint job. But other than that, it's definitely not dilapidated. They're clearly still living there. There's a car parked.
So if we were to do a vibe check,
Pretty positive vibe-wise.
okay.
Boring, if anything.
Nice.
Suspicious, but all right.
Can we like check if there's a car there, right?
There is, yeah.
Yeah. Can we check if the car is actually registered to the owner of that place? Is that something we can quickly do, or?
Publicly, I'm not sure how that information is gained.
Publicly, very much no.
Yeah, very much no. I'm gonna, because the
There
answer...
are ways, but it's not legal.
Yeah, I'm gonna say because the answer is technically not relevant. I'll say, Kaiba, I'm not gonna make you roll for it because it'd be silly. You're able to get this information, not with relative ease, but you reach out to your extranet folk, and you can get the information that yes, the car that is parked there is indeed registered to the owner of the home.
All right.
Through questionable means.
Nothing weird about them then.
Sorry, what about questionable means?
The way Kaiba achieves this information might be questionable, but it's solid.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, weirdly enough, I think license plate information is semi-public, but if you need like specific credentials to get it or something,
I think so, yeah.
and looking into it, if you don't have those credentials, it's very illegal.
Yes, I know homes are stupidly public. Phone numbers and address and name and everything.
Yeah.
Not great.
Sadly, cops do it all the time.
Yeah, but this house seems fine. No weird vibes.
Moving on then.
Yeah. And then the doctor himself, you guys are, I'd say, a good 30, 40 away. By the time you arrive, it's not going to be late, but it's definitely afternoon. During sundown, you guys will be able to arrive at the office that was handed to you by Father Alec.
Question.
Yes.
Is this doctor's office in the same direction as where Emmanuel was headed?
So in terms of where he was headed, let's say if we were going from the Dane's home eastward, we've been going east this entire time, up to the home, which is the rest stop, and then his father's current residence. After that, though, this was more, I'd say, northwest, so it's no longer going east. It's kind of jackknifing in a different direction. Presumably, he's still moving east. But unfortunately, we don't know that, so...
Okay, so do we have any reason to believe that he might have come this way?
To the doctor specifically?
Yeah.
No hints or clues or anything without actually asking him now.
We can only assume.
Okay.
And
as currently, our assumption is that this Martin is part of like one of those study groups, effectively.
I mean, yeah, he's someone high up for sure.
Potentially.
As your group pulls up to Dr. Marlin's office, it is sort of like you've seen those like strip malls of there's an ear doctor and a throat doctor and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. His is the second office from the left. It seems to be still intact. The logo has changed and everything, but the address is still the same. It looks like this area recently received somewhat of a renovation. You can tell that the building has been built up further to the right. At one point, it looked like there were maybe only 3 offices here, and now there's 6. So if anything, it's gotten bigger. On the way, looking up his hours, you actually know he'll be pretty much closing shop in about 30 minutes to an hour.
Perfect.
We want to catch him right at the end of why does he's closing, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, chances are he doesn't have any patients anymore at this point, so...
I wouldn't trust that with doctors, but all right.
Yeah.
Is he like an ordinary family doctor?
Effectively a family doctor, yeah.
Yeah, I bet he's booked until close, so...
Well, then catch him on the way out.
All right. Planned approach is basically to chill outside, wait for him to pop out, and be like, hey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. We wait about 30 minutes or so. And after some time, you do indeed see a couple leave with their child. They give a wave. The father didn't give you a description of Dr. Marlin, but there is someone indeed at the door. Glasses, graying hair, that offers a kind smile to the couple leaving, wearing your stereotypical little doctor's coat closes the door behind him. Not too long after that, looks like he was already on the way out. Door swings open, light turns off. He turns to lock the door and begins walking to his vehicle in the parking lot.
We rush
bounce-
him and kidnap.
Yes. got this.
Hi, Dr. Marlin.
As he's approaching his vehicle, he pauses a moment. It's not too dark, but it's indeed getting there. He pauses with his keys out, and he kind of points them towards you real quick, as if like, oh shit. And he, after a moment, he puts the keys down and looks at them almost in a way that he's ashamed and laughs like, oh, apologies. He puts them in his pocket and looks to your group and says, yes, do I know you?
No, we're new to the area.
What can I do for you three?
Well, we have some questions for you if you're willing to answer them, or capable, rather.
What's our I.C.S. cover right now?
Because we have to come up with yet another acronym.
Dang it.
No, let's just reuse the same one.
What were we using last time, actually?
The Child Protective Services one.
Oh, right. Yeah, that might work.
All right, going with the same one.
Sure.
Shoot. Oh, no, I didn't write that one down. Darn.
Hold up,
If we
I
scroll up far enough, we can see it probably.
did. Institute of Child Protective Services.
So sorry. Sounds good. Institute of Child Protect. Yeah. The P's silent.
Yeah, that's what, I have it written Institute of Child and then like in brackets Protection Service is.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
I mean, child protective is one word. It makes sense.
Exactly. It's a dash. Don't make me explain my shit. And as you introduce yourselves, his eyes light up as if to say, "Oh, cool, excellent. You're not just a bunch of randos." He goes, "Oh, most excellent. What can I do for the three of you?"
Well, we were hoping if you could inform us about a past patient of yours, a long time ago.
Oh, are you related
You
to
can
this
disregard
patient?
the whole patient-doctor confidentiality. Don't worry about it.
Actually, could I whip out some sort of a falsified document that looks similar to a warrant for information?
Very much so. This was going to, of course, require a convince roll.
See, this is why you should let Carson do the paperwork.
It's true.
I mean, he could be holding on to it. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it, I'll hold it.
Are you negative? As long as you're not negative with your charm, you are. Probably shouldn't roll.
Yeah, my charm is negative.
0 is fine. Negative, I wouldn't recommend it. So, Carson, if you'd like
It's in the
to,
family.
Carson, if you'd like to throw that out there.
Be good.
Excellent. All right, with
You
a
want to try helping?
full success, I don't think it would matter because full success.
All right, she doesn't have critical success. Never
Yep.
mind.
So
Well, some of it, I'll work on it.
you'll get it at some point.
All right. She doesn't have critical success yet.
Actually, you can get it relatively soon. So you're on the way. And as you guys produce the paperwork and begin to kind of talk to him a bit, he's nodding along. Initially, when you mention you need information on a patient, he becomes a little apprehensive. But after looking through the paperwork, everything seems to be in order for the most part. Definitely a little odd. You can tell this location's not necessarily like super backwater, but these specialists are, when I say they're like specialists, I don't mean he's the top of his class. I more so mean there's like no other options here for like this type of family doctor. There might be, but they're going to be kind of far away. So when people swing by, they're going to do it here, basically. And as he's not part of this huge, prestigious company, he doesn't see any big name clients. So what's the worst that can happen? Sure. He hands you back your paperwork and says, well, as I'm sure you can tell, I'm just about closing. Is this urgent? Do we need to discuss it now? Or...
Well, sadly, it is fairly urgent, yes.
Darn.
Pretty serious.
Well, and he waves over his shoulder as he turns on his heels. Says, follow me then. If it's an older case, I points at his head. Can't guarantee I remember all the names and everything the way it actually went down, but I am a prestigious note taker, so should be somewhere in my files.
Excellent. Glad to hear that.
He laughs at that, turns around, unlocks the door, and motions for the three of you to come on in.
Well, I go on in.
I bet does like note takers.
After flicking on some lights, he moves with your group past the very small waiting room. The inside is quite cozy, very rustic. It's not like your traditional, ER or hospital. Everything is white. Lots of browns. There are some plants, wooden walls, and things of that nature. Very, very inviting. Feels like home. And he motions past the waiting room into his actual office. There's a little couch for y'all to sit on, and individual chairs. There's like some smaller chairs for children as well. And he moves back over to his filing cabinet, and he turns back to your group and says, "All right, what was the name of this individual?"
Emmanuel Cassini. Should have been about, how long ago was it? Like 20-ish years?
Yeah, I think about 20-ish.
Oh, from a while ago then. All right. Was this a child then, I assume?
Correct.
Yes.
Understood. And he's kind of scratches at his chin a bit and unlocks the top one. Now closes it, unlocks the second one. Flip. Ah, yes, yeah. Right here, Mr. Cassini. Came in with his father, looks like. Some point, oh, bit of a shame. Looks like his mother passed. And he puts the paperwork in front of him, not motioning for you to take it. His hands are indeed still on it. He says, "What were our questions exactly?"
Well, Emmanuel has been acting rather strange lately. More in the line of what his father described, how he acted in his past, mainly.
Sure. All right, is this, you say it's urgent. Why is that?
He kidnapped his own child.
Oh, yes, I would indeed label it as quite urgent then. Did this happen recently?
Yesterday?
It was 2 days ago, right? Was it
Troubling.
yesterday?
Troubling. All right then. Well, you're hoping something from his past can, elucidate as to where he's currently headed?
That's correct.
Yes.
Or give us motivation as to why he did it.
Understandable. Seems you've been looking into this a little. I have quite a few notes to go through. And while I don't mind assisting, of course, I was just headed off to wrap things up and get dinner for myself. I don't want to be here all night, so if you have any particular questions, I might be able to answer them faster.
Well, one thing of note was that his father mentioned that after some meetings with you, he seemed to change for the better, of course. Can you remember any particular treatments he underwent with you?
I would most assuredly prefer the term treatment. Yes. I don't run experiments on my patients. I'm not that kind of doctor. But
Wow.
initially, the boy had, I believe, a form of, a diaper rash when he was quite young. Cried all the time. The father seemed quite perturbed by it. The mother, while, indeed annoyed, is more of a loving annoyance, as if to say, yes, all children are like this. Jody didn't seem quite as bothered as Alec did. But after that, let's see, upon growing, everything seemed fine. Ever since that point, I chalked it up just to him being a child. They're all different. Some of them are, I will be entirely honest, I've been in the business long enough. Little shits occasionally. Not much you can do about it. Some kids realize they do something that is quite annoying. You tell them to stop, and God's above, they are not going to stop. They learn after a while, of course, but that's neither here nor there. After the passing of his mother, though, somewhat of a complicated history here. Upon speaking with him, the boy seemed fine. The father was most assuredly more distraught. I'm not sure if little Emmanuel just didn't understand precisely what happened, but I think that was part of the reason why Alec was so frustrated. The boy didn't even realize his mother was dead, which I can understand being, stressful. And the way he talked about his son was, I'll just say, not positive. A lot of dissociative terminology that makes any sense. He called him the boy, not my son, things like that. I mean, I'll be honest, if anything, I probably took more issue with Alec than Emmanuel.
That's about as in line as we got from him, yes. No, I'm not sure if it was standard practice back then. But did you do any, psych evaluations of him after the death of his mother?
Of course, yes, for both of them. I would say that in terms of passing and failing a psyche eval, it's complicated, of course, but we're looking for particular answers. Just because they don't answer the way you want them to doesn't mean it is failed. Kind of air quotes. But Emmanuel seemed to all be there. We did sit him down, and in order to keep things healthy, his father did recommend, and I agreed to it, that we fully explain to him that his mother has passed. She's dead, no longer of this world, and we're going to have to move on without her. He seemed to fully understand that. And If he was sad, he must have internalized it. Of course, Alec was much more distraught at all this, seeing that his son never cried or, I guess, cared, but it's different for everyone, of course. Bothered him. So in terms of that sense, Emmanuel's fine. You mentioned experiments. Was that a slip of the tongue, or were you trying to insinuate something?
Did you put him into any studies?
Yeah, when you say studies, what do you mean precisely?
Mood, sleep, what are those?
Anything emotionally charged, basically.
There you go.
Yeah, yes. There's... And he kind of looks your group over again, and he scratches at his forehead while closing the manila folder he has in front of him. And he says, this is all in order to help the boy, yes?
That's right.
Yes. We just need to know what kind of person Emmanuel is.
Of course. There was... You'll have to understand, this is the last I saw of either of them, Emmanuel or Alec, their last little meeting, I guess, with me. And yes, we did indeed perform a study on Emmanuel. Everything seemed to go swimmingly. But what did you learn about Alec and why he was separated from his son?
Oh God, where did we learn about it?
Well, it probably has something to do with the fact that, to a degree, he thinks that Emmanuel might be responsible for her death.
He nods along with that. Yes, he did hint at that. Far too many times, I might say, and I asked him quite plainly, sir, just come out with it already. After saying that, I did take it somewhat seriously. Of course, you never know. Children can do the most disturbing of things.
No, I know.
Yes. They don't understand what they're doing sometimes. Whether they cause immense pain to someone and laugh, or accidentally kill or break something, like an animal, a bug. They might not be malicious about it. No reason to set off all the red flags initially, but you explain to them, it's not okay to hurt the cat or do whatever it is you're doing. From what I gathered, Emmanuel seemed to be fine, but yes, Alec would mention various things about the boy. After some time, I thought the two of them amended their relationship. Things seemed all right. About a year after, I think, let's see, according to my documentation, it was just shy of a year. Yes. An incident came through, and he pauses after looking at it and says, Alex seems to be doing all right. Yes, you just said you spoke with him.
It seemed to be.
A bit frazzled, maybe, but all right.
All right. I would prefer if you keep this information, I guess, to yourselves. Only share it with folk that you absolutely deem it necessary with, as we weren't able to fully look into the situation, unfortunately. I don't want to point any fingers or make any assumptions. I can tell you what I felt, and you can draw from it what you will, but all the same, try to keep an open mind. I mentioned that Emmanuel was taken away from Alec. He did not give the boy up. Although he wanted to, I highly recommended against it. Services, such as yourself, actually had to remove the boy from him. I don't believe, at least I do not want to believe, Alec was abusing the boy, but something happened. Every time we would meet after the falling of his mother, Jody, they seemed cold towards each other. I partially want to pin this on Alec. If you don't treat your child like your child, well, how are they supposed to respond? Emmanuel wasn't the most loving of children. He would play with toys, but he wasn't very huggy, kissy as some children at his age might be. I chalk this up to, well, the passing of his mother. But sometime after this, from the police report at least, it looks as if Alec took Emmanuel swimming. He was trying to teach him how to swim. And it looked as if the boy had died. Emmanuel, that is. He drowned. Some sort of accident, something happened. I wasn't there. There were no eyewitnesses, unfortunately. But the EMTs were able to swing by after having been called. And initially, at least says here in the report, that the boy drowned. As in, drowned, dead. The EMTs were able to resurrect him, though. I don't know if Alec attempted CPR, if he knew CPR, how long the boy lied there for. But he told them in the report, I think my son drowned. And the way it was said, the way it was reported is, as in he's dead. my son is drowned, not drowning. He was more cold after the fact. But upon resurrection, he seemed fine. He seemed elated, surprised, I guess. And yes, we spoke with him after. Both the father and the child. Things escalated quickly from here, unfortunately. And like I said, please reserve judgment as none of us were actually there. Who's to say what exactly happened? Kids do play, and they, most children, teenagers, find themselves invincible. They do the stupidest things. You would not believe how many injured firecracker, jumping off things, flips, and things of that nature I have come through here. Oh, it's so many unnecessary broken bones. But yes, after that, Alec effectively conceded that he could no longer raise Emmanuel. It was highly recommended that he was removed. As Alec did not fight, he was put into an orphanage.
He didn't tell us about that, did he?
I don't think he
No,
did.
he definitely didn't.
I was like,
Well, now the bucket of water makes more sense.
Oh, you're right.
oh my
That's kind of
god. Oh. This is turning out to be pretty messed up.
And you mentioned, unfortunately, that is effectively the end, at least on my part. You mentioned a study, things of that nature. Yes, we did try to run multiple sleep studies on the boy to make sure he was sleeping well. I'm sure, as you're all aware, we are much more advanced now in this day and age. I'd say, in terms of what we had access to back then, Stone Age technology, truly. No drugs or anything administered. We just checked, heartbeat, what we could from brain waves, things of that nature, tossing, turning. We'd ask him about his dreams, things like that. There were a few steps and tests taken before and after both his mother passing and this drowning. I signed off on everything being all right with him, but he seemed, specifically after that incident, very quiet. Maybe fear of water, something along those lines. Potentially. I mean, drowning it's horrifying incidents.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little bit of trauma.
I think so, yes. We tried to assist him with it to what we could. Isolate it as an incident as opposed to all water is scary. More so, this was an accident, a bad thing that happened to you. But you don't need to be scared of all water. We didn't, bring him back to the pool or anything like that. But after running a few studies on him, he seemed more calm. It seems maybe sleeping in a more controlled environment. I never saw the boys home. I would assume he was taken care of properly. But he seemed calmed and refreshed after a few of our little meetings. That is the last I saw him, before they took him away.
And the sleep studies itself were performed here, I assume.
Correct.
Right, and they were overseen by you, only you?
I had yes, technically just me. It is just me, and occasionally I'll have a nurse assist me, but for the most part, they don't really deal with hands-on things of that nature. And like I said, no drugs, nothing along those lines. It was a standard sleep, hook him up to a machine, see how things go.
Would we better get our hands on those records?
I have them right here if you need copies, yes?
Can we take a
Yeah.
look at 'em then?
I'd like to see him.
Yes, of course. And he flips through real quick, and after removing them, he takes them out and puts them on the desk in front of you and says, if there's anything there you recognize or think you need, he points behind you. There's a copy machine right there. Feel free to use it. No charge. Just make sure it's set to black and white, please.
Appreciate it.
Anything in particular you're looking for?
I mean, if we look at them, is there anything that we notice as sort of odd?
Besides the antiquated
Did we-
methods,
Did we see the results from the sleep experiment patients in the other room? The other place?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we looked. I was looking, wasn't I?
yeah, you guys basically got everything in terms of results.
I guess we would be comparing it to that, see if there's any kind of link at all, doubted at this point.
Honestly, no. And if there is, they really went out of their way to hide it. As, of course, with those sleeping studies, we know for a fact that drugs were used to induce a very deep sleep. These results look, honestly, it's hard. You guys aren't, experts in the field or anything, but they look dissimilar. They don't look like they were trying to track the same thing, nor is there any mention of a machine that can see into your dreams. That was something that was very specifically used in those sleep studies. And in terms of what he saw during the dreams, a lot of the questions were asked about, your parents or your mother or water, or trying to see if there's any deep-seated fear, or is he comfortable here? Do you have any similar
So
dreams
there's
at
really
home?
not an overlap.
No, not that you can say.
Hmm.
It does mention that he slept very deeply, though. Like I said, he was incredibly comfortable here.
He was really comfortable here.
Yeah, which is why the doctor was somewhat worried. He wasn't necessarily being abused at home, but maybe they didn't have enough money to, afford him a good bed, or he wasn't being fed properly. So he doesn't want to post any judgment or like say, hey, Alec, like, what are you doing? But he just seemed more comfortable here than maybe most patients.
Interesting.
The plot thickens.
This is a lot of information to take in. I'm not quite sure where to go with it.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to have another talk with Alec.
That freaking guy. I mean, is that about the only information we think we can get from him?
In terms of what he has written down, upfront offering you, that's everything.
All right, well, might as well move on, or
Well, I assume Alec is gone at this point, so he did give us his number if he's even gonna pick up.
And Carson, can you tell him people are lying, or am I mixing that up with a different game?
No, that's Jay, who is
That's-
not here.
how can you tell when
Jay?
people are lying?
Jay has a special ability.
That's an incredible ability.
I'm
a little
pretty
jealous
sure
I don't have it.
You should probably have that.
I feel like the way I talk to people, I should also.
It feels like a very Carson thing, yeah.
It does feel
Yeah.
like a very Carson thing.
All right, are we getting any vibes from this doctor that he's being upfront and honest?
He seems to be completely upfront and honest with you guys, yeah.
All right, I will thank him for his assistance and let him know we might follow up, but hopefully we don't need to.
But if anything, we can just tell I.C.S. to, do a background check just in case
That's fair, yes.
on him and the nurse. And that's it.
All right, after offering you guys
Oh,
one of his cards.
Is there going to be police reports about the drowning incident?
Potentially.
Yeah, effectively, I was going to say, everything that he needs is in there. They're really basic police reports. But if you want to basically have a copy of everything, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I'd like to call in a request for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
From what the doctor's able to offer you, it looks like most of it was covered. Effectively, everything that Marlon tells you is indeed in the report. It's effectively just, we found a man. His son was seemingly already drowned. The EMTs jumped to him as quickly as possible. The man seemed to be in shock, and we were able to resurrect the boy after about a minute or so. They almost gave up, from what you can see in the report. But it looks as if someone was very determined to get this boy back, and even though they think the body went cold, he was able to resurrect him. He coughs up, water and such. They, get him up, warm him up, and he seemed to be fine after that.
He is most assuredly not fine after that, but yes, all right.
Yep.
Do we want to go back to Alec?
I mean, he's probably already gone at this point.
Oh, that's true.
He did give us his number, so we can call him, but
Yeah, I'm also not sure he'd be able to tell us anything additional.
I mean, aside from, did you drown your kid? Or did the kid try to drown himself?
Is there anything special about the location of the drowning?
It was a local pool, from what you could tell, like a watering hole. It was fairly frequented, but for whatever reason, they were alone on that day.
Where is the pool?
It is not too far from the doctor's office and not too far from the home that you guys visited in the
Might
general
as well
area.
check it out in case he tries to do the same with Jack.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'll do a vibe check there, if anything.
Yeah.
Sure, it's not too far
Take
from
it
where we
out from
are.
bed.
It takes about an hour or two for him to go over all this information to get all the copies. He has an envelope for you guys, an extended one because there's a good chunk of info that you need here. After giving you everything and his phone number, Marlon sees your group off, and we're basically going to drive over to the watering hole and just kind of check things out. After having spoke with the doctor, we head over to said watering hole. As it's relatively late, we got to whip out phones, flashlights, whatever we have. The sun is indeed setting. It is closer to 8 by the time we arrive. If you guys really, really wanted to mess with Alec, you definitely could have called him as you guys left the house at a reasonable time. It wouldn't be too far out of order to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we probably would have tried, but see if he responds at all.
Yeah, have Carson call.
Okay. As you guys are driving to the watering hole, Carson, you give Alec a call, and he doesn't answer on the first ringing, but after you dial him again, he picks up the phone. It's just very grumbly, like, what? What can I do for you?
I guess I explained why we're calling.
What do you say exactly, considering we have sensitive information now?
That's a good question.
Hey, so why didn't you tell us about the drowning?
Yeah, I
Because
would
I
say
think we literally asked him about like any events that happened in his life, right?
any
He did not
major
mention the
events.
drowning at
Yeah.
all.
You most definitely did not mention that. Do you ask about that specifically, or any major events that he happened to skip over? Are you more front forward, or?
I mean, you know the Margot method.
Well, we already kind of established a rapport here, sort of. So I'll just go ahead and go right
He
into
trusts
it.
you, right?
Yeah.
Still works, right?
All right, as you go right into it, he is silent for definitely far too long, and then says, "All right, how did you hear about that exactly? Not exactly any of your business."
Well, it is technically.
Well, we are investigating. That's kind of how investigating works.
All right, well, I assume you heard everything from the doctor then.
Yeah, but sometimes personal stories are meant to be told by
The person in question. Give us your side of the story, basically.
He's silent for a good while longer. After that, Carson, go ahead and roll me convince again, as he's thinking. Does not want to answer very clearly.
Is he on speaker right now? Or?
Effectively, yeah, speakerphone. You have to be. All right, another full
Nice.
success. He sighs and says, "I'm assuming Marlon basically told you everything. From my perspective, I didn't want to share this because I assumed he'd give you a more tame version of it, or I didn't want you all grilling me in person, as it didn't look good. I don't want you thinking I did anything. But yeah, we were out swimming, and I looked away for a moment, and he just kind of went down underwater. I thought he was playing, so I guess I waited longer than I should have before jumping in to grab him. I don't know CPR, so I went to a phone as quickly as I could. We didn't have cell phones back then. Called. By the time I got back, I tried some more. They arrived. Fortunately, we're too far away, and they were able to resuscitate him.
And you said you waited too long to resuscitate him?
No, I mean, I had to. I didn't have a choice. I don't have a cell phone. Not back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I tried. I don't know how to do CPR.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I was flailing on the kid effectively. He seemed fine, but he kept nodding in and out, and then he kind of just laid there limp until the EMTs arrived.
That's gotta be a little bit traumatizing.
A little. I will be blunt. I don't remember the whole thing. I might have been a little tipsy at the time. I took him out and we were drinking and just having a picnic.
Well,
we aren't here to judge.
Yeah.
So we do need to know, did he change after that day? Aside from the, supposed trauma, quietness.
He was taken away from me after that. They deemed me unworthy to be his guardian.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I had him for maybe a week after that, and then, swooped on in, took him away, and I'd like to think he's happier, or was happier.
So he didn't seem different even a little bit in that week?
He was weirdly silent. Maybe he was mad at me. Maybe he finally understood that his, my wife had died, had passed, experiencing it himself. I don't know. He never really got hurt before that. No broken bones. He wasn't really a wild child, didn't really run around. He just kind of kept to himself and didn't really have any friends either. He was always kind of quiet. He got real quiet after that incident, though. Like I said, maybe he was mad, internalizing it. I have no idea. The doctor said he was fine. Is that all?
I mean, if anybody else has any questions, I can relay them.
I mean, did he put the bucket in front of his door, or was it supposed to be a message?
Oh, yeah. So I guess we'd ask that.
He sighs and says, I assumed you all put it there. And if you didn't, then yeah, I guess he swung by the house and put the bucket
sorry,
there.
You assumed that we were putting it there?
I don't know. It was strangers arrive at my door with a bucket in the ground. I thought you were trying to sell me something at first until I saw the thing. Clearly you were unassociated with it. No, it's not my bucket.
Is that the first time there's ever been a bucket in front of his house?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Well,
right.
It might have been a message.
Yeah, I only have one last question.
I assume there's no cameras in that neighborhood, right?
If there were, they'd be those really far off Ring cameras that watch the door from some of his neighbors probably. But maybe it wasn't a really nice neighborhood. So he definitely didn't have one.
Well, it can't be a coincidence, but it's too shadow of a lead to use.
One last question. Alex said he was tipsy that day. I want his honest opinion. No judge, no repercussions. Does he think he may have accidentally pushed the kid in, or does he think the kid jumped in?
He was playing. If you're asking whether or not me being drunk delayed my reaction to get to him, yeah, probably. But he seemed fine. I was teaching him to swim. I thought he got it. I turned around for a second to grab something. I turned back around. He was gone. After I dove in, he sunk way deeper than I was expecting.
Was he flailing like he didn't want to be there?
I just heard him go down. Like, just kind of bloop. Maybe something like caught his foot. Maybe he cramped up for a second. I got no idea, but he didn't flail and then suddenly sink. It was just very slap of the water and then nothing. I noticed he was silent for a couple seconds. I turn around, he's gone. So I jumped in after him.
And did he flail underwater?
A little, yeah.
As much as you would expect a drowning kid to flail?
I've never seen a drowning kid before, so I guess it's a little hazy.
Well, the few times I've nearly drowned, I flailed a shit ton, so...
I'm sorry this is a reoccurrence for you.
Looks at you questioningly. What?
All right, I guess that works.
When you pulled him up, it wasn't nothing pulling him back down, right?
No, either something caught his leg and it unhooked itself or unlooped itself or God knows what. Current caught him. It's a small little lake. If you all swing up there, it's honestly not very interesting. It's probably cordoned off now at this point.
Hold up, it's a lake, not a pool?
We call it a pool. It's I don't know what distinguishes a lake between a pool. It's a little area of water. There's a little river that, shoots off, but it's guarded by rocks, so you can't actually go through it like with your body.
A swimming hole.
Yeah, it's like a swimming hole. It's got a little the rope, and you swing on it, you jump in, and it was popular enough that there was a payphone nearby. So not in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
I think that about sums up our questions.
All right, I'm probably going to be here a day or so before I head out to my brother's, so I guess just call if you need me. I might not be here, but, do your best.
All right, thank you.
All right, goodbye. And he just kind of hangs up after sighing. And by this point, you guys would indeed arrive at said little swimming hole. As you get out of the vehicle, I mentioned it is relatively late. The gravel crunches under your shoes. As you begin to look around, you can see pretty quickly, next to all the little parking spots, there is indeed the payphone that he mentioned. It looks long unused. You can see various spider webs reflect off of your light, even from this distance. And then looking over to where the pool is, the water level is probably a little lower than you were expecting it to be. It kind of, rather than being on a hill, the ground kind of goes down a bit. It looks like there's probably an area for picnicking. But other than that, you see the pool and the little river that kind of leads off going downhill.
Is this the only way in?
Yeah, it's relatively open. Basically, the road kind of pulls off to the side. There's a parking area. Then you get out on foot and walk over to the pool. That's essentially it. There's no one else here.
A vibe check for underwater sea monsters.
The thing from below.
Your senses tell you there is no thing from below. If you get too close to this body of water, Margot, I think you'll be safe.
How dirty is it?
Now it's not really looking too hot, but it's not unswimmable. Seeing as it's less popular now, there's probably fewer folk that come here to dump their children in, primarily because there's most likely an actual pool somewhere that folk can go to. I almost said caffeinated. What? Chlorated? Yeah, your good old caffeinated pool. Just drink deeply.
Ew. Chris.
Take a dip in the coffee.
Exactly.
I hate that.
Sleep for days.
It's not great. Looking around, though, you don't really sense anything that's too off. Are we looking for anything in particular, or?
The water in the bucket, was it clear water or dirty like lake water?
You did take some with you, right?
I did, yeah.
Take a swig.
Yeah, taste it. No, please don't. You have brainworms. Dun, 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 dun.
It comes with the job. It's fine.
That's not funny.
No, it's not. I forgot what they're called, but they're horrifying.
Yes, they are. It's not funny.
Anyway, I think it's hilarious. But yes, you were able to kind of put your light up to the vial you have, the little bit that you collected, and there's some stuff floating in there. You got some floaters. Were you to check the lake in front of you, similar floaters, so you can tell that the water left in front of Alex's home was not fresh water, wasn't bottled water, and if it was, there's a lawsuit on the way.
Oh, that's pinpointed, all right. It's probably a good thing we told him to leave.
Very targeted. It still doesn't say where it is, though.
Yeah, and what's the point of the message? Are there any tire tracks like someone's been here recently?
Looking about, checking the parking lot, you can tell this place is definitely not frequently visited anymore at all. You see your tire tracks leading up to a parking spot, and you see 2 parking spots over. There's a set of tires. Drove on in, and then drove on out.
Any footsteps next to it? Or?
Yeah, 1 pair or 2.
You see 1 pair of footsteps leaving the vehicle toward the lake, and then you see another pair returning. They seem to be adult size.
Any drip marks in the next to the lake?
Any what?
Like, drip marks of someone dunking a bucket of water in and dragging it back out?
Judging by everything you've seen, it would logically make sense if you got the water from here. But there wouldn't really necessarily be any like drip marks or anything like that. They'd either be long dried or they would blend in with the dirt / grass that's everywhere. So,
Okay. Well, I guess that means we can at least check for the tires and get a ID on the car or the car type.
Ooh,
I guess.
yes. All right, sure. I'm gonna take a whatever
Picture.
of those tires, and I can text those to whoever I send those to.
definitely, yes. You're able to
We
get.
actually have cell service here. Oh, nice.
Uh-huh. You're able to snap a few images. It takes a second for the image to send, but you're able to indeed do so. And they actually get back to you not after too long. So regarding this case, Margot, considering how everything left off, the I.C.S. wants you to basically consider the Red Wheel case solved. They will keep an eye on Marissa. It's a shame that both Jack and Emmanuel are currently missing, but going forward, as they've received no new information, they have 1 new bit of information and that's it. It's gone cold otherwise. And they'll be able to receive this and link it up to you basically tomorrow, as it's relatively late. Would you guys stay in like a local motel or something, or?
I'm assuming we've drove
Oh,
pretty far out, right?
Yeah, relatively far. You guys, I mean, you can get back to, your homes or whatnot, I.C.S, but it's gonna be like past midnight.
I'm cool with the hotel.
All right, what about the company card?
Absolutely.
Excellent. All right, get all that shit paid for. Nice and straightforward. And you are able to basically send out this information late, and you'll receive feedback in the morning. Both Margot and Kaiba will heal by 1 each, as we have a nice little. We're able to rest a little bit tonight. Feel a little
That wasn't hint. Stop following this case, was it?
So they're going to elaborate on that in just a second. Unless there's anything specific you guys want to do overnight, they will basically contact you in the morning, Marga, with follow-up information.
I'm not in my haven, so I can't prepare. So
Yeah, and I feel like my head's probably a little spinny right now. So maybe a good sleep is in order.
Understandable. 3 of you are able to get relatively good sleep. You tell me.
I don't think Kaiba can sleep very well because he is thinking about certain things right now.
Anything in particular, or just a whirlwind of information?
Yeah, he's cult leader, basically.
Do you think it's connected to something, or just old memories coming up?
Like, considering that a lot of the cases have had to do with, like, studies and, he doesn't technically know it, but also the group that was, like, checking out mental psychic abilities. Like, he's definitely thinking about, why was there a random cult in my town that was trying to, quote-unquote, summon beings from a different world?
Doesn't every
Maybe
town
I
have
should
one of
have
those?
another. Maybe, but definitely it's not someone who had actual working spells who succeeded. Or at least he thinks he did, but
Definitely alarming.
basically a lot of like haunting memories going back right now. He doesn't really want to think about it, but it's happening.
Don't blame you. And Margot, kind of same deal, just a lot of information, so you're trying to rest up best you can.
Yeah.
And Carson, how about yourself? How are you currently feeling?
I'm good. I got
feel like
nothing.
Carson is the kind of person that sleeps well anywhere.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, unless you tell me I'm getting a nightmare, I think I'm fine.
Unless something's striking you, your brain is okay. That is a very potent skill to have.
I think Carson is deeply invested in his schedule.
Good.
So.
Well, the 3 of you grab something real quick to eat.
He also doesn't have any damage, so.
True. You escape that last tussle completely unsmacked, mainly because Kaiba very smartly put on the mask and drew all the ire towards himself. It hurt, but it worked.
Yes, thanks. Ow.
Bleeding, dying, it's okay. But yes, you guys get a quick bite to eat, hit the hay, And by morning, Margot, you indeed have a response. Some good news, some bad news. They say somewhere up the way that, yeah, tire marks work, most definitely, but they can only do so much. You were smart, Margot. You took multiple photos of like how deep it was. That can help them gauge how heavy the car was, the size of the vehicle, things of that nature. But there are, I don't need to tell you, obviously, millions and millions and millions of vehicles. So incredibly difficult to catch that kind of thing, unless they already have a vehicle planned that they're watching. All the cameras and everything that you ask them to follow to the best of their ability in order to capture Emmanuel Cassini. Effectively, this is the result and, I guess the unfortunate result of what they offer you now. They say that, yes, we were able to track him. At least we think it was him. He did switch vehicles a couple times. The last vehicle we saw him in actually matched the tires that you were able to supply, Margot. So they can confirm, they weren't sure at first, but they could confirm this was definitely his car that then left, and they think he switched again. And by this point, he's completely missing. The last location they know he ran into was nestled somewhere into town, some random backwater bookstore that, to their knowledge, has basically nothing important going on.
A bookstore?
Seemingly, yes.
That better not be my bookstore.
Not your bookstore. They would know. They know where you live.
Yeah. I would be very angry that they called my bookstore a random bookstore.
Yeah, so this one, in terms of, so it's not a big box bookstore. In that sense, it is similar to the one that you live at, Kaiba, but it's definitely not yours. It's further away. It's closer to Alex's home, basically. It's along the way.
Can we pull records if he purchased anything from this bookstore?
They offer you guys the address and the phone number if you want to contact them, but they basically say after that, Margot, we've done our best. We already talked to them and whatnot. The owner was semi-helpful, but not like super helpful. So they're not even sure if the owner like saw Emmanuel come in. Maybe they'd be better in person. Totally up to you if you'd like. But I.C.S. has effectively hit a dead end. And once you're finished what you're doing, unless you find some major clue, they want you to come back.
All right. I mean, we have that act of kidnapping officially out, so.
Yeah. So they're basically trying to rely on that without following him too hotly, because they don't want, they have no idea what he's doing with Jack. So they don't want you guys following him so tightly that he panics and kills him. They want to make sure that we're watching from a distance, but he doesn't know we're watching from a distance. We don't want the child to come under any harm.
I mean, of course.
Yeah, that's kind of their main shtick right now.
Although with him being from another world, I don't think the kid's safe for long. So, all right, to the bookstore.
Alrighty, leaving early in the morning. This is a fair skip and a jump away. So, would you guys stock up on jerky and such?
Yes.
You can't take a road trip and not buy jerky. You'll never get there. It's a fact. All the same, though, your group does eventually arrive. This town is quaint, small, very much a blink and you'll miss it type locale. It's relatively close to Alec Cassini's abode. By this point, he's most likely packing, getting ready to move in with his brother for the time being. Your group arrives, though. There's 2-3 other cars parked in front. You guys are relatively early. It's probably the owner and, the world will see as working with. And the logo itself is a whole bunch of books. The spines of the books revealed. And then the letters on the side would spell out the location. Stitchbound Wonders.
Cute.
As your group comes on in, the little bell above the door dings. And you can see right across the way, you got bookshelves to the right, bookshelves to the left, and the center walkway leads right to the checkout. And you can see an older woman adjust her glasses as she was looking through a book, speaking with, presumably, one of the workers, asking him to move a box, looking to your group, walking into the building. She gives you all a wave and a smile.
Wave back.
Alrighty, what y'all doing?
Go talk to her.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how
I'm
the
gonna
best
check
way
the
to
books.
approach this.
Like, I do like to imagine that Kaiba's adoptive mother is more of like the managerial type. She's like the one who buys all the books and gets all the sales going, basically. And she would probably know a lot of bookstore owners in the neighborhood. So I guess I could ask her if she knows this woman, I guess.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, sure.
definitely a personally owned business. You see, besides their logo, like posted up, there aren't the really obnoxious, like 20% off, buy 2, get 1 free. A lot of the signs are not corporate printed. They are hand drawn, painted. Some of them are, what's it called? Brain is not working. What do? We scream and scream into the night. And then we get chalk. That's the answer. Drawn up in chalk.
Yes.
So you said you're asking your family to see if they know this place?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. You get a...
Even if it's just the name or something, I guess it helps.
Yeah, you get a fairly quick response, mainly because they're a few towns over, but they carry the same similar type product. So not like frequently, but occasionally they'll contact each other and say, hey, we have a client looking for this book. Have you heard of it? Things like that. So they're not on like a super first name basis. They definitely know each other, mainly because they work in the same, circles. Like
a working relationship, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, effectively, like, hey, if you sell this book for us, we'll scratch your back, you scratch ours.
Well, let's get us the name at least.
Still thinking of a question, Margo?
Because this is a nice little. She looks like a nice lady, right?
She does look nice, yeah.
We only have to ask if she remembers a guy looking like Emmanuel, or maybe Jack.
Just straight up asking. All right, who's approaching the counter and saying, "Hey"?
I would probably be.
Sure.
Hey.
As your group walks on forward.
I would go up and introduce myself, like I am the son of this and that and such like that.
Okay. Takes her a second. She nods after tapping her chin and goes, "Oh, yes. I'm not sure I met you in person, but I believe we've spoken on the phone at least once before."
I think so, yes. Was it about mentions random books you might have bought?
Yes, that was precisely it. I'm so glad that your location had it. Some of these can be so rare, and it's amazing the customer can even find them half the time.
Yeah, we do stock quite a lot of variety, so to speak, so.
You're a bit larger than we are, so I do greatly appreciate it. What can I do for you, sweetheart?
Well, we're actually here on a different matter for another job of mine.
Oh, yes?
We're looking for a certain person who might have passed by here.
She nods.
Actually, we have a picture of him, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and a picture of Jack as well.
Yeah. I can pull those out. I'll let you do the talking.
She looks them up and down and nods, and then smiles back to you. Yes, are they friends of yours?
Something like that, yeah. Now, I kind of guess that you probably haven't seen which direction they went afterwards, but, well, if you do, that would be helpful.
Oh, I truly can't say I did. They most likely traveled further into town, but as you're aware, you're
to be expected.
In and out in just a handful of minutes here.
Well, then on to the second question. Do you happen to recall which book they bought, if they bought any?
A good question, that. And she's kind of thinking things through. Not that she doesn't remember, but it's on the lines of like, you're friends. Should I tell you? Probably. Because you have this connection and you've helped me in the past. Yeah, you know what? Sure. What harm could it do? And she flips through some papers real quick, goes, yes, he was rather interested in the world religion section, and there was a few books he was looking at, but I believe he purchased... Oh, this one here, yes. And she kind of turns up the sheet and then points and says, he purchased a novel here on primarily the afterlife and such, as seen amongst the Middle East, I believe.
Can I get a copy of that book?
For that particular one, you grabbed the only one, I can tell you.
Well, I might have some at home, but that's too much of a detail right now.
Oh, potentially. You can write down the author and the name and everything. It's the aisle should be relatively clearly labeled. He looked at a handful of books. They're right over there. All the little signs are up top. I drew them myself. The religion section's 2 over near the back.
Perfect. I'll be right back then.
Perfect. And as Kaiba walks off to go look, she looks over to you, Margo, and says, was there anything in particular you were looking for? Or I assume you're all here for the same thing?
Same thing.
And as you head over to the section, Kaiba, she kind of showed you like the general row he was looking at. And yeah, a lot of these books are well used, well loved. Some probably look more at place at home in a library. But you can tell that some of these might be the only printing. Maybe she isn't entirely very similar to, your shop. Some of these are incredibly rare. Some are just both rare and unwanted or unneeded, as they were, penned by an author that no one really knows. So difficult to track everything being accurate necessarily, but all the same, she will still carry it.
Random biographies by people that did nothing.
Effectively, yeah. Maybe people making claims as to things that there's no proof for, but you know what? It's knowledge. She will sell it with the addendum that, you probably know what you're purchasing.
Kaiba's just like reading the titles and nodding along like, yep, we have those too.
Yep, a lot of them mirror precisely what you have. There are a couple that you guys are aware of, don't have physical copies of, but a lot of these you can see he flipped through they're just that. They are doctrine on like religion. Some of them are very, very dry. The section he was looking at in like particular, it's like world religion, so all over the place. No one particular, no one location either. Eastern religions, all the way up to like the north. Ancient religions, some that are long dead, barely practiced, maybe older versions of currently practiced religions that pieces and bits people have either forgotten, or there are really, really, really small sects still following that, and they're just keeping to themselves.
Did he ask about any specific books that she may not have had?
From what she basically told you, he was looking for the more niche information that you can't find in like a Barnes & Noble and things like that. He doesn't want your basic ass regular Bible. Not looking for that. Everyone's got those. He wants shit.
Well, then, yeah. Did he name anything?
Not anything particular. He literally just said, I want weird shit. Effectively. Without saying weird shit.
Yeah, but like, what qualifies as weird shit?
Effectively, what I described before, people that have penned of like, oh, yes, here's the history of this religion.
I guess that's true.
How accurate is that? I don't know. How many books have you written? 1? Okay. Do you fact check anything? No? Excellent. Testimonials, things like that.
I don't know, investigate a mystery to see if there's a more detailed link between them other than it's weird and it's religious?
Realistically, that's effectively it. There's not really much hidden here besides the fact that looking at everything, it is basically just I'm trying to think the best word to describe this with, and I can't reach it necessarily, but it's effectively I guess niche religion knowledge all over the world. There's really no focus besides you can't buy these at like a Bookman's or something.
Like the only thing I can think of that has anything to do with religion is the fact that, well, he was effectively raised from the dead. So I would probably end up focusing on those kind of stories.
As in people coming back from the grave?
Basically, yeah.
I would say there's maybe a little of that in some of these books. Not all of them are written in English, which is absolutely fantastic. But
Yes.
yeah.
Tyler can probably read it, it's fine.
Oh yeah.
He's bilingual or trilingual or polyglot, whatever he is.
I mean, that and you have a phone that can mostly auto-translate for you, which is great.
True.
And I'm jealous.
I had a very good education.
But yeah, from what you can tell, there definitely is some stuff in here, Kaiba, without needing to roll or anything. There are multiple testimonies, I would say, of, yes, people either coming back from the dead after being long dead, people living effectively, I guess not the best word to use, people experiencing a living death, where they basically turn off, they meditate for so long that their body kind of dies, but not fully. But they might be considered like medically dead, but they actually are not dead, as they are still conscious of their surroundings, but able to, reach a different state of mind effectively. And what that means, various testimonies regarding that, those that either entered the state and not necessarily survived because it's an intended state. It's like, raising your mind to a higher plane effectively. It's seen as an honor, if anything, so it's definitely not negative whatsoever. But some folk looking to things of that nature, maybe people that did indeed die and then they came back. People experience, oh, I saw heaven, or I saw an angel, I saw grandma, things like that. So there's some people that have anecdotal. I spoke with Susie or whatever from 1987, and things like that.
Wow, until we get our hands on the book, we won't know for sure. We can go back to my place for that.
Yeah. Can I check Audible?
Definitely not there.
Damn it.
Are you sure?
Let me check. Definitely
It's in
not
the
there.
cult section. I'm just kidding.
It's like literally you see a few books of occult in that section, except they're all narrated by Kaiba. Sorry, I haven't gotten around to that one yet.
Dang it. You have to join the secret Audible club.
Super premium subscription.
Put Kaiba on
I mean, it's income.
Patreon.
Exactly. Get those secret links.
He does
If
have
you
no
really
defense.
want him to narrate it, we'll have to fund it.
Other than that, from all the
I'm
books,
sure Kaiba can get his hands on a copy. It's fine.
yeah, should be able to. And other than that, from like what you can tell, the books aren't a lot of these. I wouldn't say no one actually knows. Of course, we don't know. We don't travel to the afterlife, of course. But a lot of it seems like baloney, honestly. Or a lot of it is very much like, oh, heaven must exist because when I died, I saw grandma, and she was also the same religion as me. So of course there's life after death, or there is experience after death. Not a ton of stories like that, but there are some. He didn't purchase any of these. You've seen books like this before, Kaiba, so it's not too far out of the realm of possibility.
All right. I will take note of all of the books on the shelf here and see mentally note if I have them at my store, and if I don't, I'm going to buy the copy here.
Sure. You can do that relatively quickly, where you either take a picture or check back with your family real quick. You can knock that out. I would say for the most part, you have all the books, maybe like one or two you don't, and they're not expensive. You can easily get them. Yeah,
good. And for the rest, I'll have some casual talk with the lady. Like, have you gotten the latest book yet? No.
Yeah. She
haven't. Oh, I'll make sure my mother sends you a few copies.
You should definitely appreciate your guys' company. Very happy that you're purchasing some of the same books. I'll have to keep an eye out for that guy if he's helping the sales. Yay, excellent.
If you ever swings by, definitely contact me.
Oh, most surely. She already has your phone number, so perfect. And after telling her protege to hey, go over there and do that nicely. She's not being mean about it, of course. He waves to you guys as well. You guys are able to check out relatively easily. And with that, she gives you all a wave unless you have any other questions for her.
Nope.
I don't.
Alrighty, perfect. We are fairly far from home and I.C.S. Out here, though, there's not necessarily anything, to my knowledge, that would lead to next. So we can just basically head back home if y'all want.
Yeah, sounds good. This is a bit of a dead end.
Fortunately, it is a straight shot. We can just hit the highway, straight from Budunk nowhere, right back into the main town. You can basically head back to your base if you'd like, Kaiba. Margot and Carson, if you want to join him, you most definitely can. All the books and stuff that you would need to look at are there. The one that she mentioned should also be there. Everything's held for you, so no one buys them, just in case, Kaiba. All held to the side for you.
Yeah, I'll go to Kaiba's.
Alrighty, perfect. And as you're looking through these, of course, it's a handful of books, Kaiba. Are you going to kind of skim through them? Are you looking for anything in particular, or...?
I guess I'm going to investigate a mystery using my lore library, because I'm home now. To, find out what Emmanuel might be after in that book.
Oh, in the one that he purchased?
Yeah.
Yes. So for this one, you can go ahead and roll if you want.
One forward. Nice. A lot of 11s today.
A lot of 11s, dead on.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of ones.
Don't say it like that.
Jinxed. We're all doomed now.
No, this is perfect. There's so many ones here. We like ones.
Do we?
Of course not. Of course
trying
not.
to reverse jinx it.
I mean, with enough ones.
I think
I'm
Karma's
scared.
smart enough to see that.
Yeah, with enough ones, you're gonna get something good. But yes, so this book is effectively more of the same from what you can tell. It is in a completely foreign language, but it recounts this one specifically. It's more laser focused, I would say. This one does recount more. I guess not necessarily I died, but I saw Allah, I saw God, and just people's stories of that. It's a whole bunch of personal stories. It seems someone traveled over there. They were native at some point, and they've been kind of traveling the world. You notice this book was penned by the same individual who actually penned another one of your books. Looking at the author, they're not anyone of severe consequence. It's just something that they're interested in. And in this one, it's literally just a book full of many self-testimonies. And a lot of them follow the same, but rather than focusing on the religion itself, this book in particular is dedicated to a religion and people who followed said religion, their stories about finding God, seeing the dead, things of that nature.
Do any of the things they saw sound familiar to us in the unnatural sense? Supernatural sense?
I would say in the sense of literally, I saw an angel or I saw, the great beyond. Yeah, that's very much supernatural.
Yeah, but no, I don't know, specific descriptions of this supposed angel?
Many of them match what their doctrine states it should look like. So a lot of self-fulfilling prophecies, if you will.
Yeah.
effectively now the thing is the author isn't penning it that way. He's not writing it as if, of course, it is described as blank blank blank. But looking at this will definitely take like the day of sitting down and and reading through all these books. There's quite a bit, and cross referencing and trying to look at like which religion this book is associated with.
Is the language? Is the religion itself important?
No, it's a choose a generic Middle Eastern religion or something along those lines. But basically, the point is the religion matches up with this book specifically. Whatever they would claim to have seen would match up in these testimonies. It seems this book was specifically organized and put together to match up with those things. So many people claimed, yes, I died and I saw blank. I was given blank, such as I deserve. I've been a good servant of God. Therefore, I saw all these things. I was brought back, though, due to the miracle of something, who knows what. But I swear I saw this. And apparently I was only out for like a minute. But, it felt like I was there for years or what have you. So many testimonies like that. Some were just in a reverie in the desert. I saw God, or I saw the face of God or something. Or I saw angels. I saw my family. But this book specifically focuses on that one religion. More hyper-focused than the other books.
The sleep studies didn't mention a religion inspiring them, did it?
No.
Okay, so it's not some weird-ass cult.
Nope. No, yeah. If it was a weird cult, I would have been real clear about that.
Well, check out the book, I guess.
You would already have it on you, easily.
Yeah, sure.
During this time, you've been checking out the book with this written testimony, and it all lines up. It lines up as if to say, like, yeah, it makes sense that these are associated with that book specifically, because everything's described precisely the way you think it would be.
Right. And does this religion have any kind of notable links with Emmanuel? Like, I don't know, drownings or something? Or
no, nothing like that. If anything, this was it feels as if this is just I guess another book to add to the collection of, I want to say like vague religion information that wouldn't normally be something you would share at a church or a gathering. Maybe you would, but some of it's a little too far-fetched in a way where it's too self-fulfilling or it's too on the nose. It is unique, though. That is for sure. 100% unique. There are not many of this book running around. You know that for a fact.
Is the author still alive?
The book doesn't seem too old, so they should still be alive, yeah. They've only written like 2 or 3 books.
I mean, what was his other book about?
Same thing, just different location.
Same thing, different location?
Yep.
That's weird. Has he written any other books?
Nope, just the 3. Basically going around getting people's testimonies and such. Nothing too crazy. You can tell the author tried to get it, I guess not announce it too loudly. So as if not to be like, you're going to be on TV, so make it sound as splendiferous as possible. More just like, you tell me and I'll jot it down. And then told them, I'm doing this for a book. So he tried to remain sort of impartial. He tried not to gas them up too much. So the story they told wasn't this crazy bombastic, like, and then the skies opened and the angels whipped out their horns and started like blasting beatbox and whatnot. And he's like, all right, chill. Let it not happen.
As angels do.
Yeah, exactly.
As angels do.
Yeah.
It's the boombox. Those freaking angels.
Really? Be not afraid.
Be not afraid. Guitar solo.
But yeah, other than that, you guys basically spend the day kind of linking all this together. And effectively, the long story short is it's weirdly boring, I guess I would answer, but more of the same. Just a lot of personal testimonies. That's basically it. Very diverse stuff. All over the world. Tons of different religions.
Jokes. Either way, it's a little odd.
I mean, can we find him?
Find
the author?
The author? Would it be worth trying to find the author?
You definitely can find them if you'd like. But in general, I guess I.C.S. could kind of reach out to help you find them. It always feels weird answering it this way. You won't find that much information from them besides, I travel the world and do X, Y, and Z.
Oh, so you're basically saying that it's kind of a dead end?
Effectively, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean you don't want us to take pointless trips?
I mean, you guys definitely could, but I can give you the answer of, he'd effectively give you the answer you're thinking you're going to get of, yes, I wrote some books and they're interesting. I'm glad you liked them. That'd basically be it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then never mind. Or we can just say we already did it and it's just not.
Oh, it's a flashback.
Useless.
You definitely can. You guys can say that, I.C.S. contacted them, you chit-chat with the individual, and they're interesting, but not related to the case.
Yeah.
All right.
But honestly, if Kaiba gets the sense that this is entirely unrelated to the case, like it has definitely nothing to do with his whereabouts or his plans, he would just drop it.
Yeah. You very much get the sense that this is something that Emmanuel was personally interested in, but it's not connected to like the sleep studies. It's something he's personally interested in, and that's as far as we can tell, effectively.
I'm beginning to wonder if he
God,
actually
Peter.
wasn't part of the sleep studies. Is that a wrong thought process, God, or?
I mean, you could ask Marissa if he's ever been in a sleep study, I guess, but
Considering it's been a
I
day,
think we've asked him before, didn't we?
yes, it's been about a day. You guys have been researching this, and effectively, the day will run its course. I will heal the two of you. So, Margot, you're no longer exploding. Congratulations.
Sweet.
And Kaiba, you're definitely doing much better. Carson, you were never damaged to begin with, so good job.
They call me Indestructible Carson. Oh my gosh.
Don't red flag yourself.
Jinxed it.
I need to find some wood. Hold a second.
Death flags.
All right.
Excellent.
Wood
All right.
is knocked.
Consider wood knocked. Considering Margot, the way they asked you to like get off the case wasn't aggressive, but it was essentially good job, but you're kind of spinning your wheels. You're kind of wasting your time at this point. Repeating of what was said before. We'll keep looking into him, but I.C.S, your handler, they let you know that this came out of nowhere. You have no way of figuring this out. It's effectively a dead end. Let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with you thinking this, I told you that Maverick was trying to help with information, right? He was in, the...
See, I think I will take issue with the idea of finding a lost kid, considering his background.
Yeah, so they're only telling you guys to drop it.
Yeah, you would.
They're still looking. They just don't want you guys hounding him. Mainly because currently there's no trail, and they don't want you spooking him.
No, and I also think I'm probably pretty accustomed to dropping the occasional case with potentially following up later. Also, if it is still a sleep study, we'll come back around to it eventually.
Right. Basically, currently, no body parts have been left behind. Yes, it sucks that he took him, but we don't think he's currently in danger, so we'll try to keep an eye on him.
So you're saying that you're like accustomed to just dropping cases periodically, or?
I mean, I've been in this job long enough. Not every case can be solved.
So I guess my question is, would this part of it be considered like a cold case? Or do we still have avenues that we can follow up on?
I think it's not a cold case. It's just a, what do you call it when a case is like on hold?
Gosh, I'm sure there's a word.
Yeah, I don't know the technical term, but it's effectively on hold. Like when something pops up that we can chase after, please do so.
It has been put on the back burner. Let's go with that.
Let's go with that. We love a metaphor.
Yeah, precisely. Very, very similar to the room that we found that the now deceased agent was looking into. But on that note, they let you know that abandoned sleep center, and when I say they, I mean your brother, Margot, he says that he was also told to basically, hey, we have work for you, stop looking into this, we didn't ask you to, go back to work. You're basically wasting company hours, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, I was helping my sister, but...
Sorry, say that again?
Maverick was asked to hop off it too, because he wasn't asked to do it. Remember I mentioned he was helping you?
Yeah, what was he looking into?
The whole thing in general, trying to figure out who Emmanuel was, because remember, they said, oh, we don't know who he is.
Wait, was he looking into the orphanage?
Yes. And to be super clear, yes, this is effectively a dead end. There really isn't much more to link up on this. But the very, very, very last thing that your brother, Maverick, because he was looking into the orphanage, he was trying to look into who Emmanuel was. The last names I told you weren't linking up. There were various like locks, effectively, on parts of his life, specifically, that childhood, that like the pre-childhood, and the fact that he went to the same orphanage with y'all. So upon seeing that, your brother was, okay, weird, I'm going to keep looking into this. And he also hit a dead end while working, so he wasn't able to get too much done. But the last thing that he thinks he saw, he wasn't able to fully link this, but he swears he was running some fingerprints, trying to double check, is this the same Emmanuel? Maybe that's the reason why they don't want me looking into it. It actually is a waste of time. He was able to partially match fingerprints we have on file from Emmanuel, as, we're able to pull full, easy fingerprints from his home. We had a team move in after Marissa, so they were able to get that without any issue. There was a partial match for various machines and paperwork found in the abandoned sleep study that you guys swung by, the sleep center.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Ah, interesting.
That's all I mean. There were partial fingerprints found that your brother thinks match.
Wait, as in Emmanuel was in the abandoned sleep study place?
That's what your brother thinks, but because he can't get a full match, and they basically told him, like, bad boy down. He can't look into it any further.
I don't like I.C.S. saying no this many times.
Well, we both know that I.C.S. likes hiding things.
I mean,
That is kind of I.C.S.'s whole thing.
How many times would Margot Maggard have gone a dark on a case?
Occasionally, they do tell you to do something and tell us as much as you need to know, but when I say us, I mean just your handler, and that's it.
Oh.
So a lot of things are kept in the dark, primarily because they don't want people losing it, and they don't want everyone to know everything, due to safety reasons.
Yeah, but then who are they going to send on this case to actually connect it?
There are specialists, including yourself.
Yes.
If they believe there's a connection, they will reconnect you to it, but if they believe there's a connection.
Okay, did Maverick tell them about this potential connection and then he got told no?
The last thing he found was this potential connection, and he's asking you, Margot, should I say something? They don't know I know this, but I don't even know if it's a real connection or not.
Well, it's a lead. It might open it back up. And if they shut it down anyway, then that's suspicious.
Yeah, I would say tell them and see how they respond.
Okay, so Maverick will go ahead and do that when he has the ability to do so, maybe when they're less angry, and he'll get back to you when he can. Other than that, we basically spent all day relaxing, reading books. Both y'all healed. One, as we're kind of chilling here, you receive this information, and that's effectively going to be the whole day. So if there's anything in particular you want to do at night, you're more than welcome to do so. Other than that, the smaller avenues y'all want to look down, you can definitely start poking those. And then, like I said, you'll have like a day or so of downtime as I.C.S. understands, because you report back and saying, all right, we're off the case. I'm back. They'll give you a day or so to like decompress so that you're ready for the next case, because they have a bundle of cases ready.
Does that mean we also get to de-stress, or is that
effectively when you guys are quote unquote off the case, actually off the case, so you'll get a full day of decompression and you guys get to roll your de-stress.
Yeah, I need to de-stress a little bit, please. Please, I'm begging you.
Oh, in that case, Kaiba needs to make up with his girlfriend, apparently.
All right, so
because of the favor, so he's gonna go on a date, I guess.
Before we go out and mess with any new things, we effectively tell I.C.S., hands off, we're moving on, we got it, thank you. And they sign off on your guys' day of, downtime. They remind you that there's some paperwork that needs to be done, and after that's done, then you can go on your next case after you've done blah, 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 blah. So, Kaiba, if you want to go ahead and, take her out as a oopsies, you can go and roll de-stress, charm, and all that nonsense.
Do you want a +1 or a +0?
Nice. Alrighty, you can erase a singular wedge. Where would you like to cut back from?
Do it from fatigue, I guess.
Okay.
He has distressed.
You said
He's a happy boy once more.
Going out on a date?
Yeah.
All right, you were indeed feeling...
I'm not sure if going out is the right word.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's more like they're lounging around in his room.
Okay, hey, that can be a date.
Yeah. No, apparently his girlfriend really likes watching like old-timey dramas or something. Very specific type of movie.
That can be super fun, so yeah.
Sure, let's go with that.
Anything to relax, realistically. Preferably picking a movie that involves minimal murder and cases that are similar to what we're currently messing with. Able to get all that, situated as you're able to relax. And then Carson and Margo, what would y'all do to de-stress?
I think Carson gonna have a movie night with his crew.
Excellent. Is this a in the bar movie night, or are you all going out?
In the bar movie night.
Excellent. You have a big old projector or a huge TV or something?
Big old projector, yeah.
Very nice.
Big sheet. But I failed, so guess what? Doesn't matter.
That is indeed a 1 and 2. Alrighty.
But you know what? I would just like to say that I may have failed. And while the movie night was a fun time for Carson, he's still just anxious about everything that's going on. That's why it didn't work.
Basically, you can't forget what's going on in the background.
Yeah, he was hoping it would work and it didn't.
But you put on a smiling face for everybody else. Can't freak them out. Make sure you also mark experience, by the way, Carson.
Okay.
All right.
Do you get a new skill with that, or?
Nope.
Nope.
Wow.
Getting there. You're rolling too many 11s.
Pretty sad, actually.
So you don't gain any
Use all your
stress.
luck on the 2 11s?
I know, right? And then Margot, since you are back in town, what would you do to de-stress?
Well, since me and Maverick have been taken off this case, I will go hang out with Maverick and BFF.
Excellent. All right, roll. Bring it together for me. Wonderful. Where would you like to remove 1 stress from, Margot?
Agitated.
Playing with your poocher makes you less agitated?
As is the case for most people, I assume.
Unless you just don't like dogs for some reason. It is your dog, though, so I'd hope you like it. Alrighty, spending time with family, spending time with smaller, furrier family. Things are going much nicer for you, Margot. Most of you guys are able to de-stress a bit, spend some time, and even if we don't fully de-stress, at least we can spend some time off the case, doing more human interaction that involves less kidnap and murder and weird, mysterious things. But a day or two rolls by, and specifically for Kaiba and Margot, your break is cut 1 day short, as I.C.S. of course needs you to come in and fill out some paperwork for them. Basically, all the random bullshit from what we dealt with before. No need to roll for this. Just role play wise, they're having you come in and do some boring shit. Didn't get too bad. Carson, of course, you can run your business officially. Oh my god, for about a day or so before.
What?
You get to do your actual job. What?
Oh, maybe I should just say that. Oh God, the fact that I just added more stress. Looking up and seeing the stress bar even worse is, you might say, stressful.
A little, yeah.
I feel like maybe
the worst that
normally
can happen?
he works to de-stress. So
Past all that, after a day or so, Margot and Kaiba, you're able to finish the most assuredly tedious paperwork, but everything's filled out. We understand where everything ended up. Effectively, they're very clear with the two of you, and Carson. Margot and Kaiba, you're basically to let him know that this case was indeed resolved. We'll keep an eye on Marissa, but she was not killed. Technically, nobody was killed, to our knowledge. We primarily received more information about these blank red reels that no one really knew about. So regardless of the outcome, yes, we don't have the red reel.
Yeah, no, the red reel case was successful.
Yes, you guys were very successful in this. They're able to, put this information in the archives in case we run into a blank red reel, rather than shrug, figure it out. We know exactly how to deal with it now. So other agents can go into these cases were they to stumble upon them without, the blindfold on, which we know leads to countless deaths. You may make one mistake, one misstep, that could be it.
Well, good luck to them. I hope to never do it again.
NPCs don't have luck, so they can't just go, oh! Alrighty, and on that note, as we're not at the end of our normal time, what is the next thing you guys want to do? Who do you want to chat with? I will say if you technically stumble across something, that could open a new case, or if you just want to chat with people and say, hand us a new case, we'll go down that route instead. I have
want to
many.
check out the apartments?
Yeah, and did they come up with anything for my printed sheets, or did I not ask about that yet?
When you say printed,
the one from Dr. Merlin, you mean?
No, from CD's Nuts.
No.
Essentially, the long and short of that, Margot, is be careful. We don't know exactly what this is or why it was sent to him in particular, nor why your name was marked. Did you mention that while you were in Galva Hills, you guys messed with that machine, you sent it a message? Or did you keep that to yourself?
No, I think I would have mentioned it.
Okay. Weird message going out, weird message coming in. They're able to put 2 and 2 together and say these might be linked, but we don't know how, because this makes no sense. In terms of tracking, they didn't find shit. The exact same as CD's Nuts. Complete dead end. Regardless, they'll hold on to this code, this something, whatever it is. I mentioned before, the print that I sent you, that's the cleaned up version. Prior to that, it is all over the place. There's no clean lines. If you've ever seen a printer malfunction, or basically gone into a Word document and taken something and just, space, enter, just letters and shit all over the place and add a bunch of zeros and slashes and underscores. That's basically what it looked like before. After cleaning it up, this is what they got effectively. And they said this singular code repeated over and over and over and over and over. They are unable to run it through any cipher to get any meaning from it. But basically, hold on to this. If you find anything else, if anything reaches out to you, or you find any weird code, don't shrug it off. Please return it back to us. We'll do our best to help you with whatever this is. But for now, Margot, we have no idea what it is.
So there's no way I can even reply to it, is there?
unless you can figure something out, nope, it's a complete dead end for them. They are intrigued, one might say, but also wary, as sometimes you don't want to speak into the void.
Very true. I also would have given them the finger and the water sample. There's nothing weird about the water, right?
Wow, you're giving them the finger?
I was gonna say.
The cut off finger.
Yes, I know.
No, but to, I guess, solidify your thought, yes, that is indeed lake water from that exact same source and location. So that is precisely where the water is pulled from. The watering hole. Oh, and I guess finger, since we do have his prints. Yes, that is 100% Emmanuel's finger.
Sweet. Oh, we should send that to official resources that Jack's kidnapper is now missing a finger.
Sure, they'll go ahead and add that in. I.C.S. can make that connection very easily for you. And knowing this might be a little more straightforward, hopefully, to find him.
Like, we can also mention that, I mean, he probably has enough knowledge of the magical side of things to hide himself. I would ask if they can figure out a way to bypass that, I guess, so we can go ahead and track him again.
Sure, they'll definitely try looking into that. Having the finger, I guess, backfires in a weird way and sort of helps, seeing as he left it behind. They'll definitely do their best and see what spells or something or ward he would have possibly used. Obviously, nothing is perfect. Even if you do it perfectly, things wear off either sooner or they just don't run as long as we need them to. Nothing's perfect. Unless we have some sort of amplifier, which, as we are aware, is very dangerous but doable. So they will try to look into what they can to accomplish this. Without harm to you, of course.
And do they mention anything about what Maverick told them at this point in time, or
regarding the fingerprints?
Has he told them already at this point, actually?
Yes, Maverick definitely would have told them before your guys' downtime. And to your knowledge, Margot, since you know all y'all are close, Maverick would have told them. They would have been basically said, "Thank you for the information. We'll look into it. Please keep this close to your chest. We don't want rumors spreading."
And I guess or at least Kyra would give them the usual response time to react to that, which is however long.
Yeah,
And
essentially.
if they don't mention anything back to him at that point, he's going to get suspicious.
Yeah. So essentially, they're going to pocket it. They don't reopen that part of the case, at least. Of course, there's a lot to go through in that abandoned sleep center. You guys have been away from some time, though, so for the most part, all the lackeys that we have run through and just do grunt work have done just that, all the grunt work. And yeah, a lot of information in there. And yes, we still have some of the drugs that was mentioned. Those are in lockup, of course. But other than that, besides it being really, really weird, and if you'll see anything similar to this, please let us know, especially if you find something that is active. It's also sort of a dead end, but something very much to worry about. If they're able to pull things from the other side via dreams, and they can inhabit people's bodies or swap places with them or God knows what, that's a problem, especially if we can force it. Other than that, yeah, dead end, effectively. And of course,
I guess we'll go back to checking out the apartment building for now.
Sure. Do we swing by to say hi to Graham, or...
I think we asked him if we can use his apartment as a testing ground, right?
He's down
Not
for whatever.
sure.
As long as you ask him, he's down to help, so...
Because there was definitely something weird about the entire building. I think we asked this, well, around the time we thought we finished the red wheel. Well, anyway, we're going to go to Graham and ask him to, I don't know, help us out. Let us use your apartment.
Come on, Graham.
Knock on Graham's door. Hey, Graham, have we recruited you yet?
And he's like, oh, God.
Oh, no, they're back.
Get away from me, you freaks.
You didn't get the message. I'm not texting you guys anymore. Jeez, leave me alone. No, you guys definitely warn him ahead of time. You know, knock, knock, knock. You don't really see too many people farting about outside. As you swing up, though, he answers the door less chipper than usual and gives you guys a look at it saying, "Hey, what's up? I haven't seen y'all in a while."
Like notably less chipper, or?
Initially, yes. His initial expression, rather than being like excited, is more, I'm, not even answering for the pizza, as if to say, like, who's knocking at my door? But he lights up when he sees you guys.
What's up, Graham?
What's up? So it totally slipped my mind. I've been busy. I'm sure y'all have been busy. What did you need me for again, precisely? Or I guess the room?
Something
yeah,
like that.
base of operations.
Somewhat, I don't know if it's good news or bad news, honestly, but apparently there definitely is something weird about this building, so we're gonna run some tests, I guess.
The whole building?
Yep.
Shit. Well, I guess come on in then. how long do we think we're going to be, doing this for today?
You got company coming over, Graham?
Oh, it might turn into sort of a sleepover kind of situation, depending on how things work out.
Cool. I don't know if I'm getting company or not. Possibly. My mom called. She was just kind of saying what's up, checking in on things. I don't think I mentioned, I might have let it slip, that
Well, if you think she's going to come by, let us know, because it wouldn't be a great look.
definitely not. Which is why I'm not 100% sure. She does sort of swing by unannounced or announced, but like right when she's outside, so I can't react, as she sort of does. But that's just kind of her. Regardless, though, do you need me? Or is it just like being closer to the weird makes it easier for y'all to do your thing?
Being closer to the weird.
Being closer to the weird, yes.
Dope. All right, cool.
Well, being able to ask you some questions might definitely help, though.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Just
What's
being
up?
around the block.
I've lived here a while, yeah. What's up?
Yeah, I mean, you seem like the type of person that, asks people questions and talks to them spontaneously.
I try to
Probably
talk.
to their chagrin.
Yeah, I try to talk to some folk. They tend to keep to themselves. I don't know everybody here, but I know some of them.
Well, tell us about them, I guess.
I mean,
We know
whoever.
there's a big guy, very big guy, actually, living on the top stairs.
Oh,
Of
yeah. Matthias, big dude, muscles.
Definitely. About as
Yeah.
wide as the entire hallway.
Yeah, dude's huge, right? He seems super chill, but I don't know. He kind of, I don't know the judge folk, but he gives me a look as if he's say like, maybe he's trying to say move politely, but it's more like move or I'll smash you. So I tend not to get in his way too often. I try to say, hey, what's up? But dude's real quiet. Mixed vibes from him, but he seems okay.
What about the other tenants?
Oh boy. All right. I mean, we got a lot of folk. Obviously, Mr. Carrick, landlord, first floor, y'all ran into him before. Definitely and he instinctually checks over his shoulder. Real piece of work, real interesting guy. He's unique, one might say. Definitely be careful running into him again if you happen to, because I think y'all gave him a bullshit story last time, right?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't here then.
Oh yeah, true. Well, maybe you can get away with it, but I think our two friends here definitely didn't say they were just your standard, like, hi, we're visiting a friend. I think they snuck around a bit. Regardless, Carrick's a bit old standard, I guess. Whatever. Regardless, y'all know him for the most part. Not next door. Next door. There's a dude named Brant. I don't know him very well. I'll be honest. He kind of gives me the whole heebie-jeebies. Dude's bald. He's got like real narrow eyes. He's super lanky. He's always kind of wearing a hoodie regardless of the weather. I like most people. I don't know. He kind of gives me, I guess, the standoffish vibes I get from Matthias that are like, I will crush you, small bug man. I more feel like Brant's going to stab me. I didn't do anything to him, but like he's definitely standoffish. Like don't talk. Don't mess with him. Just leave him alone. Bad day every day for him, I guess. Not a huge fan. But I guess if you have to live here, I don't know how that first floor is, but my room's fine now that I cleaned it. Obviously, my bud. Rest in peace. Rest in wherever the hell you are, Finn. He's gone. Sucks, but what are you gonna do? Y'all talk to Etta, right?
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then you know her.
We're kind of here for her.
Oh, really? Invited or uninvited?
Currently uninvited. Probably permanently uninvited.
Good luck with that. She doesn't let anybody in.
Well, considering
Oh,
you're part of
permanently
the group at this
uninvited.
point, effectively. Apparently she has something in her room, which might be the reason why the entire building is weird, but
It's very
maybe
bad
it's the
juju.
other way around. Who knows?
Like a physical something or like a spooky something?
Unknown. Definitely
Well, think of
spooky,
it like
though.
I don't know, an emotional charge or something that wants to hurt people.
Great. Just piling them on. Awesome.
I'm sure Carson can tell you more about it. He experienced it.
Sure can.
I mean, you look to be in one piece, man. You doing fine after whatever it was?
Yeah, 100,000 episodes later.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. You seem
Look,
to have your hair doesn't go gray.
it's only gonna, it's, one of these days it's gonna be the straw that broke the camel's back. And then I'll get gray hair. But today's not that day.
I'm sure it'll
I'm
be
sure
hot
you'll
though.
look great with gray.
Yeah.
But we're only part of the way through the day, so we never know, right?
Yeah, it's probably nothing we can't fix.
I guess with a box of hair dye, or are we talking about something else?
Well, I was, but I'm sure you'll look fine with gray hair, honestly.
It's salt and pepper.
I feel like you could pull it off. Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I just gotta own it.
Pretty much. There's one more person. I don't know her too well, and the other folk. I mean, I've seen them. There's that one lady with the baby. I don't know her very well. She kind of sticks to herself. I think she's just busy all the time. Working kid. And then there is at the very top. Oh, I didn't mention. Sorry, I'm going from bottom to top of who I run into on the semi-regular. Top floor, Matthias, big guy, and then next to him there's a girl named Janny that lives there. She seems cool. Everyone's kind of always watching each other occasionally, just like out the window, looking about and whatnot. So that's usually how I see folk. I mean, obviously, Etta never leaves. I barely even know she's there. I mean, I think the only reason I know her is because I'm annoying.
Or at least you're self-aware.
I appreciate your honesty.
Look, the being self-aware is something that you can use to become charming.
It is indeed a power, yes.
I mean, I just use it to eviscerate myself mentally, which is not great.
No.
Yeah, there are two types of people in the world.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Either you're
demons.
self-aware and charming, or you're self-aware and depressed.
I'd like to think there's a few more avenues, but you're on the right track to something, yeah.
So is that everyone in the apartment, or is that everyone you know?
I mean, that's everyone that I care to know, I guess. A lot of their folk are, I guess, more boring, more just like, I show up to work, and I do that, and then come home, and then eat, and that's basically
More
it.
regular, you mean?
Yeah. Janny's always kind of watching folk. She's pretty cool. She's wonderfully round, cute. She's got a little ponytail, round glasses, round everything, I guess. She's nice. She's always kind of like, she'll wave down from way up there, and she's way up there, so I'll see her pop her head open and just kind of wave down. I always like to imagine her as like, I don't know, the lighthouse, I guess, just checking everybody out.
Well, I guess that works. Building definitely seems to attract some figures.
I kind of gathered that, yeah. There's, 20-ish rooms, I think, and not all of them are taken. To my knowledge, no one's in Finn's room still, so.
No. Well, then I guess let's get to work.
Need me for that, or what's this work?
I don't know. You want to help? You want to see some actual magic being performed?
Maybe. What are we doing exactly?
I mean, for now, we're starting with a vibe check to get a better look at the building. That is a technical term, by the way.
All right, perfect.
Actually, having more people might be useful. So yeah, I guess I'll be using magic to vibe check the building.
Okay, and what is your intent precisely? Just looking for weirdness, or?
I guess, yeah. I want to get a similar feel of the building that Millie got. Like, what exactly did she feel that she despised this entire place?
Okay.
What was the bad juju? Is there an epicenter?
Gotcha, all right.
Is it just the entire building? Is it a feeling of this building doesn't belong in this space? Or is it a feeling of, I don't know, this building is bigger than it is? Ooh.
Okay. You can most definitely do that. And as you said, you'll need time to prepare. You've brought various trinkets and such with you, Kaiba. Having an extra person here is actually going to be super helpful. Primarily because big chunks of magic, checking things like this, especially an area this large, is going to be very nice to have an extra person. Just to help kind of, vibe things out. We can explain to Graham how various things work. Same with Carson, same with Margot. We've messed with things before, but any singular missteps can lead to a disaster, as we are aware.
So actually, can I say, since Graham is probably familiar with the building, we're basically using his mind, his understanding, as a focus point, so he can basically like walk us through the building.
Effectively, yeah. I mean, he knows the place pretty well, and all the rooms are mostly unison.
Yeah. Right. So Graham, you're gonna feel a tingly feeling and just think about the building, all the places you've been.
Will do. And Graham's able to help you.
Dreaming effectively, like you're walking through the building.
Okay. He seems to be on board with this. He helps you
think of anything weird, or it might come and haunt you. And that's not a joke.
I've seen that movie, and I know how this works. Don't worry.
Sure.
All right, he's able to. All of you are able to set various things up in the room to both protect yourself and amplify this. The actual casting as we sit down and focus and tap into the Aether, the good stuff on the other side. We'll have Mr. Kaiba go ahead and roll for us.
So I guess I get the +1 for my, what's it called, mystical library? Yeah.
Yes. We have plenty of time to prep for this. You needed it.
Good enough. Definitely needed it, yeah. Does this technically count as big magic, by the way, or?
If you're checking the entire building, it's a big magic in the sense that we need everybody. We need a bunch of stuff. You very much need to prepare for this, and it's going to take some time. So yes, that sense. All right, let's see. I believe with a mixed success, it effectively works, but there's going to be a form of a side effect, or we're going to draw immediate unwelcome attention.
What can possibly go wrong when there's a hostile entity in one of the rooms?
Indeed. Alrighty, as you all begin to assist Kaiba in this, we place all the items up, we, figure out what needs to go where, all that good stuff. There is an equation to everything. There is a pure knowledge that is normally beyond human sight and reach. But being able to utilize sacred or perfect geometry, basically dipping into the truth of the universe as things are, we can occasionally see things that should not be here, as they do not match the same rhythm or code in a way. And initially, the ritual seems to be working quite well. And we know we're going to receive the information that we want. You know already, ahead of time, that there is something wrong with this location. What that something is, she, of course, was not able to tell you, but it was bad enough that she left in a hurry. Now that you're here, even though you know there should be an off feeling, it does not assault you. Whether it is suppressing itself or whether you're unable to feel it, you're not sure. Now that we've started this ritual, though, that is no longer the case. A feeling of dread surrounds all of you. You know for a fact that you're being watched, and you know there is no way to stop this ritual or cease yourselves from being watched without experiencing great harm. Something will break, something will go wrong, and you're not going to get the answer you want. But whatever this something is entirely aware that you know or you're looking into it. And as you do, this, 4-story building? Yeah. 20 rooms. There is a presence that resides in one of them, in multiple. It's moving. It seems to be coming from everywhere and nowhere all at once, as if it's playing with you. But you really, really got to focus down. And when you do, it's not that the lights go off in the room, it's that light itself as a concept is just extinguished. You can see each other. You can see some of the charms you left behind. A faint outline of each of your allies is approximately 2 feet away in each direction, as you guys effectively form a circle. Graham is trying to visualize this to the best of his ability, all the various locations. A sense of unbelonging very much strikes out at all of you. And as you feel more than see this presence, it's inhabiting a location somewhere south. It's very close to where we are. Whatever it is, it's most assuredly here. And there's definitely something above us. And we know this is Edda's room, which is essentially what we're looking for. But that isn't all of it. There's more going on here. And you feel as if you've run into it before in some way. It feels somewhat familiar. You definitely can't place it. But this presence, you've spoken with it before. There's almost a voice that's muted in the background that garbles itself and just falls into oblivion. But it's familiar. How it's familiar? You cannot tell, but you know for a fact you've spoken with this person that is somehow associated with this feeling, this entity that should not be here, yet resides in this building. To answer one of your questions, Kaiba, does the building belong here? Yes, it does. Does this thing, whatever it is, belong here? Very much not so. It was invited into this world, and it's powerful, most assuredly. How powerful? Hard to say. It's hiding quite well. Maybe it's biding its time. Maybe it's sleeping. It's difficult to tell. But it knows that you see it. If you have any, I guess if you have one more question or something along those lines, you feel as if you can ask it before this ritual effectively phases out.
Gotta be a good question.
The only thing I can think of is what does it want?
I think that's a good question.
Yeah, I honestly, that's a good question. Go with that.
Perfect. As this thing is watching you, you see into it for a moment, Kaiba. And you know what you see, Kaiba, all of your allies also see. There is no blinking and there is no turning away. There is only reality. The reality of what's in front of you. This thing, this entity that does not belong here but is here all the same, it does indeed want something. It wants to be praised. for it knows it is powerful, and it knows that it should reclaim its rightful place above all of you sniveling, writhing worms. It wants you to know that you know your place as well. It does not want to just rule over you. It wants to make sure you know you're being ruled, and there's nothing that you can do to stop it. And after this sickening feeling resides, light returns to the room, and you can all see each other sitting in the circle, each of you covered in sweat.
Did we notice we were sweating?
Not until now. You literally felt nothing in this
geez.
strange void. You couldn't even feel yourself breathing now that you're thinking about it. The air entering, passing by your lips and down your throat, filling your lungs, feels fresh. It feels like something that you haven't experienced or really got to taste, and your mind is like reeling back now. Has it been hours, days, weeks? How long have we been sitting here? Your lips feel dry despite the fact that your skin is covered in a sheen of sweat. And for
Are
each of you,
dehydrated?
a little, yeah. For each of you, Kaiba, Margot, and Carson, go ahead and roll me to keep it together.
No!
Yay. Is that this one?
Nope.
Oh, that's Panic.
That's Panic.
That's a ring one. I don't think I have that one either.
Hey!
What do I roll for this?
For this situation in particular, I'll let you roll plus weird or plus cool. Your choice.
Well, they're both the same, so it doesn't matter.
Perfect.
I'm gonna roll weird because I'm weird.
Excellent. Alrighty. Both Kaiba and Carson, you will add 1 stress. Where are we throwing that bad boy?
I guess this is just normal stress.
What happens?
It was
if
definitely
I-
exhausting, but not in the mental kind.
So I will say with your current situation, Carson, filling out your stress meter, this is a weird place.
Can I do corruption?
No, you don't want that.
Dang.
So
I mean, you might be able to use it as an excuse to use your other character if you have made it already.
I have not yet made one, though.
that's fine. Realistically, don't need to. So I will say corruption is effectively only used if your character's like, I want to solve this case, but the current tools we have are not good enough. I'm either going to ask I.C.S. or try to find something, or I tell you something in the current campaign that's very clearly a magical item that you should not touch, and you say, screw it, it's got power, I'm touching it anyway. That's where corruption comes from. Corruption comes from, I say, this thing is very clearly some dark god, do not tussle with it. You do so, okay.
You tussle.
Oh,
Yeah,
you mean
you
like
tussle.
the thing we're currently inside of?
Maybe.
Actually, Sister Cornered works because it's all around us, right?
Yes.
Sure, I'll do cornered then.
You were in that nice, expensive blackness, and now suddenly you're in a tight room.
Yeah, I just
and
want
it
it
wants
to
to-
make sense.
It
whatever I
wants to
put it
step on
under.
us. That's pretty cornered.
Yeah.
It's just, because it's like, if I don't choose stress just because I don't want my stress circle to fill up, I don't know if I want to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I
if
mean,
it's
what
appropriate to
would
use
even-
cornered or...
What would even happen if you were stressed out, Rao? You could have to do a panic roll, and you might flee and run out the building. It's not
Yeah,
too
it
bad.
would be, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess to answer the meta question, because you're right, that is a weird question. If you ever fill, I'll put it this way, I know it sounds mean, but if you ever fill the stress meter in a scene or scenario where it doesn't really feel that bad, I'll find a way to make it somewhat worse.
Oh, perfect.
This is
So that I just
You
wanted
run
to
out of
make
the building
sense
screaming, everyone
narratively.
sees you.
yeah, this is a horror game, so I do have to make sure we're not like metaing accidentally or on purpose, because our brains will always go meta direction. I totally understand that. If you're like, oh, I'll just stress here because it's not going to hurt me, I'll find a way to make it be not great.
Okay.
not horrible, but not great.
No, again,
Run
like I
out of
just
the
wanted to
building
make
screaming.
sense.
Yeah.
Everyone sees you
But
pee
if-
your pants.
Yeah,
you
all right.
trip.
Yeah, it's just like,
Mentally
if
scarred.
that's what but actually,
Your not yet girlfriend happens to be in that exact spot and sees everything go down.
oh my gosh, that fills my entire stress and cornered meters.
It just keeps filling up over and over.
Yeah,
Go in fetal mode.
I just disappear into the ether.
Just the.
Oh no, he has been finned.
Exactly.
My body just
Finn died of
disintegrates.
cringing so hard from being embarrassed. He just like
Cringed himself out of existence.
exactly.
He's just like deuces.
Do not witness me.
and then Sophie's like,
Graham, is it possible that Finn cringed himself out of existence?
You know what?
Is-
Yeah, he texted that one girl and it was a horrible, horrible pickup line. Oh no!
Oh,
he's
that's
like,
also not the case. That's the third one this year.
Damn it! Alrighty, and we'll open the cringe that killed the boy, I guess, next week, and with this new bit of information, as we're all kind of seeing it and looking at each other and being like, "What the shit?" Graham looks as if
God,
I saw
love
that
book. The Boy Who Cried Cringe.
Exactly, horrifying. Graham gives you all a look as if to say, "Yeah, I saw that too. Definitely." He's not freaking out. He's trying to hold it together, but he fully understands, what's going on here.
Congratulations, Graham. You have a potential god inside your building.
He just kind of nods slowly after wiping his brow and goes, "Haha, dope, great."
Yeah, that's a twist.
And on that note, we'll go ahead and pause and dive into this more next week.
Woo!